What's good, everybody? It's the Clown with Cap show. We got UFC 292. I can't wait. Aljamain Sterling, the champion, versus Sugar Sean O'Malley. I think this is a great matchup. Look, for Aljamain Sterling, obviously, he's on a 9-fight win streak. He's beaten Petr Yan twice, which the first fight was definitely one of them fights where, Petr Yan threw a legal knee and he was losing the fight. Petr Yan was winning the fight, and then his coaches told him to throw the knee. But at the end of the day, right now, Aljamain Sterling is the champion. So well-deserved for him to be a champion. He beat, really good guys like Henry Cejudo, who's an Olympic world champion. He won Olympic gold in the Olympics, so that's a big deal. He beat steroid TJ Dillashaw. I mean, the guy's obviously on steroids, so I wouldn't really call that a count, because the guy who does steroids in the UFC is a cheater. So I think, TJ Dillashaw, he's irrelevant right now. He'll be forgotten in like 10, 15 years in the UFC. No one will remember him. No one will. But we're talking bantamweight here. This is a little boy division here. Lightweight, that's what they say compared to the heavyweights. But I think Sugar Sean right now, he has the opportunity to capitalize here. In some of the fights, he just recently beat Petr Yan, which it was by split decision. And one of those, it was just like, man, it could have went either way. I didn't see it live, so I can't really say that. But Sugar Sean, 11 wins by knockout, 9 first-round finishes. So, I mean, obviously, he's a good stand-up guy. So, Sugar Sean, he wants the fight to be standing up. And if this fight is going to be standing up the whole time, Sugar Sean is going to knock Aljamain Sterling out. That's what's going to happen. Now, on the flip side is, if I'm Aljamain Sterling and I'm in his camp, I'm his coach, I'm saying, look, we're going to take him down. Like, we have to take him down. Because if we stand and make this a boxing match or a kickboxing match, it's going to be terrible for Aljamain Sterling. You do not want this. Sugar Sean is probably one of the best stand-up guys in the UFC. Even though he's in a little boy division, bantamweight, lightweight, what is that, 130, 135, 140? Like, that's just lightweight, dude. Like, come on. Like, please bump it up a little bit. Go to the big boy division, at least 170 plus. But, we can't knock him. But Sugar Sean, he's plus 215 in this fight. Who are you guys going to pick? Obviously, for me, just going out on the limb, if I think Sugar Sean is really trained for this fight and saying, hey, I'm not going to let him take me down, I'm going to piece him up and keep my movements here, I think Sugar Sean could upset Aljamain Sterling. I really do. I just think Aljamain, dude, I don't know. Like, watching him fight, it's nothing like, oh, man, like, this dude is a beast. Like, some of the fights he's fought, it's kind of been boring. Like, the Henry Cejudo fight really wasn't that entertaining. Yes, he did take Henry Cejudo down a couple times, which surprised me. But the TJ Dillashaw, the steroid dude, like, obviously that was an easy fight. But overall, it's just one of them, Sterling, he's a super smart fighter. So that's why he's champion right now. He's super smart. He knows his opponent's weaknesses. He knows his opponent's strengths. So we got to give him credit where credit is due. He's the champion right now. A lot of people are saying, oh, he's the most disrespectful champion of all time. I don't think so. Let's pump the brakes here. He did win the belt when Petr Yan was winning the fight, and he threw an illegal knee, which is well-deserved. And then they ran it back the next year, and Sterling won the fight fair and square against Petr Yan, which he's a dog. Petr Yan is a complete dog. He's a savage, and he won fair and square, and that's why Sterling is a champion right now. A lot of stuff went in his favor to become champion, and that's what happens. Not just in the UFC and life in general. Stuff has to go your way. Like, that's just how it goes. But I'm gonna go out on the limb right now and say Sugar Sean is gonna knock Aljamain Sterling out. That's my prediction. I'm gonna go KO. I don't know exactly what round, maybe first or second round. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised even the first round. I mean, as soon as this fight starts, dude, I want to see him go toe-to-toe. I want to see a big brawl. I want to see a good fight. I don't want to see a disappointing fight. I really don't. I want to see action. And that's why the UFC is where it's at today, because of Dana White and the legendary fighters that brought the sport up to where it's at today. Guys like McGregor, Chuck Liddell, these type of men, dude, built this company up to where it's at today. Like, it's huge. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry company, dude. Like, this is crazy. Take it over. ESPN Plus, just everything. UFC's involved right now, and we got to give respect when it's due. So, shout out to Dana White and the UFC. But right now, in the main event, UFC 292, I'm going Sugar Sean over Aljamain Sterling by knockout. I think he's going to give him with the leg kick or just piece him up, because I just think Aljamain Sterling's not as good on his feet, so he's got to take him down. And Aljamain Sterling's not a wrestler. He's not one of them guys who's like, oh, he's a true wrestler. I don't think so. I just think at the end of the day, I'm going Sugar Sean. I'll take the plus 215 right now. I'll go Sugar Sean by upset, knockout, shocking the world, leg kick or something crazy, right? Just like we saw in the Gaethje Dustin Poirier fight. Something exciting, right? That's what the fans want to see. We want to see blood, sweat, and tears. We want to see the whole 9 yards. So I'm going to go Sugar Sean in the main event over Aljamain Sterling in the new champion of the little boy baby weight, bantamweight. Like, come on. But, hey, shout out to both fighters, but I'm going Sugar Sean O'Malley by knockout. Then we got Zhang Weili. Shout out to Zhang Weili. Look, I saw Zhang Weili fight twice, or maybe 3 or 4 times actually. But the two main that I remember was her against Rose Namajunas, and she lost both times. And the first one was definitely she got blown out of the water. Second time she lost, it was going to even fight, going into the 5th round, and she got taken down by Rose. Shout out to Rose, but, that's her only Achilles heel right now. So I think Zhang Weili, 11 wins by knockout, 8 wins by submission, 11 first-round finishes. Zhang Weili, I love this girl. She brings that passion. She brings the power and the timing, precision, everything that goes into become a UFC fighter. Zhang Weili does great. So I think she's going to become ready. I think Amanda Lemmas, I really don't know much about this chick, but I know she's a badass, dude. 8 wins by knockout, 8 first-round finishes, 3 by submission. So obviously she's a great fighter. She's 13-2-1, and then Zhang Weili's 23-3. So I like Zhang Weili. I really do. I've seen her fight multiple times. She has quick hands, great stand-up. So I think what she wants to do is keep this fight standing up. That's what Zhang Weili wants to do. Every time I see her fight, she wants the fight to stand up, which I don't blame her. If I'm a UFC fighter, and if I'm not a true wrestler, I want the fight to be on the feet. Like, straight up, I don't want to go on the ground. I don't want to go against the cage and get, leg kicked or, hit in the face with an elbow. Like, that does not sound good to me. So I think if you're a striker in the UFC, you obviously want this to stand up. And I think Zhang Weili, it definitely wants this to stand up. Like, and I think she's going to win by doing that. I think she can dominate that. I just think overall, she needs this fight standing up. I think for Amanda, though, this is the strawweight title. So obviously, 5-round fight. Both the fighters have to come in, excellent shape. Have to become tip-top shape. So I think overall it's going to be a good fight, but I'm going Zhang Weili because I've seen her fight multiple times. She's experienced more than I've seen Amanda. So I'm going to go Zhang Weili by knockout here. I think, both the co-main and the main event are going to be knockouts, and I think that's why UFC 292 is going to be electric. It's going to be big, even though it's in Boston. I wish it was in Vegas. I just feel like being in Vegas during a UFC event, it's just nothing like it. So, even though the UFC, they move around, they go out of the country, go to Australia, Fight Island, they go to different places. I'll be Dubai, I think in October. So, it's so much going on, which is kind of weird, right? Here in America, when they're fighting in Dubai, it's like, completely, it's like 1 or 2 in the morning or afternoon when they fight. It's so different because we're used to, definitely here in the United States, we're used to watching the fight later at night or later in the evening. So when it's like in the morning time, it's like, what? It's hard to adjust. It really is. And I think for the fighters too, that's the downside. But obviously this fight's in Boston, in America, but shout to, so much stuff, so much history in Boston. But I like Zhang Weili by knockout, and I like Sugar Sean O'Malley with the upset by knockout, the underdog. So I'm going to go the favorite here in Zhang Weili, then I'm going to go to the underdog in the main event. So I think that's great. I think it's good. I think this card is excellent. Even though Cody Garbrandt, he's out yet again with an injury. He's 13-5 in the UFC. He's a former champion. I love Cody. He's a great fighter, brings the passion, brings the fire. But, recently, in the past, 6 or 7 fights, he's not really been that great. I think he's won 2 fights in the past 7 or 8 fights. So there's definitely, a hill to get over, for Cody. So I just hope a fast recovery, and hopefully he fights on some card by the end of the year. Because for me, every time I've seen Cody fight recently, it's not been the same cat that's fought 3 or 4 years ago. I just feel like some of the hunger might have gone. I don't know. Something maybe personal in his life. Who knows? But prayers up to Cody. Hopefully he gets healed in that. So I think that. And then we got Marlon Vera. I like him over Pedro. Marvin Vera, he's a veteran in the UFC, been in the UFC for a while. He's 28-1. 8 wins by knockout, 7 first-round finishes. So I'm gonna go for Vera in that one. But back to the main event. That's why so many people are tuning into this fight, because of the main event, because they want to see, all right, is Aljamain Sterling legit? Is he really a true champion? Is he going to defend his belt over 5, 6, 7 times? Obviously not like the GOAT, John Jones, who's defended the belt like countless of times. Dude, it's crazy. But I just think Sugar Sean right now, he's just, I feel like there's just more crisp to his fighting right now. More crisp on the stand-up. More crisp on just shots and giving. So I think if Sugar Sean's trained right here and his coaches are really smart, they're going to say, look, Aljamain Sterling's going to try to get you on a counter, and he's going to try to take you down when you throw. So that's what he's going to do. So I think for Sugar Sean is when you throw a left or a straight, defend the takedown, because that's what Aljamain Sterling's going to do. He's going to shoot eventually there. He shot on Petr Yan and scored many times on Petr Yan in the second fight, and that's why he won the second fight when Aljamain Sterling fought Petr Yan. So I think there's matchups that make fights, and I think this matchup, if Aljamain does not get this fight on the ground, dude, it's going to be over. Like, straight up. Like, dude, Sugar Sean O'Malley, he has that precision. He has the power. He has the speed and the agility to just go in and out. So I think Sugar Sean's movements are just like no other that we've seen in the UFC. Obviously, since Prime McGregor back in like 2014, 2015 time, that was Prime McGregor, where he's moving in and out, unorthodox, hard to hit, hard to throw leg kicks on McGregor. Kind of like Sugar Sean here, just moving unorthodox, like not normal, right? It's just weird movements and stuff. So I think Sugar Sean could use that to his advantage, and we're going to see the lines change in this fight. For 2 5-round fights here. So I can't wait. I love it, but I think Sugar Sean's going to win by knockout. He's going to catch Aljamain Sterling when he's not expecting it. He's going to get knocked out, and then we got Zhang Weili by knockout as well. I cannot wait. UFC 292. It's the Clown with Cab show. Let's go!